What's going on, guys? Hey, it's Anthony here at the Breakout Daily. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we have an action-packed episode you're not going to want to miss. We're going to be talking a little bit about some of the recent reviews and trailers that have come out and their impacts that I've seen on the comic industry. We're also going to be talking, and I'm going to show you a CGC order I just got back with a couple of surprises in there, both good and bad in that sense. And we're going to dive a little bit more into CGC with some books I'm going to be submitting, their current updates on the hurricane that hit down in Florida, and a lot of other things, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so it has been, let me move this mic around a little bit, guys. It's been a wild, I'd say 2 weeks as far as comic books go. Again, if you guys don't know, I am a seller and a buyer over on the Whatnot app. If you guys haven't checked out the Whatnot app, there's a referral link down below. I highly recommend checking it out if you're interested in purchasing or selling comic books. There's a ton of great sellers on there. And if you use the link down below, you're going to get $15 on the house to spend in anybody's stream. Highly recommend it. We do shows regularly on the Whatnot application, generally on the weekends, but we are going to switch some things up here in the near future. Enough said about that. What I want to talk about today is there's a couple of big things brewing that have impacted the market from Marvel. I've got a box of 8 graded comics down below. We're going to talk about those and some of the grades I was expecting and some I was definitely not expecting. I'm going to show you guys a couple of books that I am currently collecting and some books I'm gearing up to send to CGC. So let's kick it off with some movie and TV news. Marvel released the Werewolf by Night trailer, the macabre black and white, a few weeks back, and excitement has been building across all platforms. And recently there has been some pre-screeners that released their opinions of the show, which is very exciting. A lot of good reviews, which is what we want, right? There's the Bloodstones in it. There's Werewolf by Night in it. There is Man-Thing in it. And I'm sure other characters and other things going on that we don't know for those that have not seen the pre-screen. So it's super exciting. The other cool part about this is these macabre characters and many others, to include Tomb of Dracula and some of these other characters that, yes, have a cult following. I can attest to it. I have sold tons of those very specific books, and they seem to have a very niche followers, but they're dedicated people. Now, with the trailer dropping and the news coming back that this is an incredible show, it is kind of thrown gas onto the fire as far as collectors chasing down those Werewolf by Night keys, the Elsa Bloodstones, the original Bloodstone, the Man-Thing runs all the way back to Fear and into both of his solo older runs and everything else, which to me is very exciting because I feel as though those macabre characters, to include Tomb of Dracula and others, are long overdue for collectors to start picking those up or continue picking them up depending on where you stand on that fence, but for the value to be kind of lifted some. So a ton of movement in all arenas of the macabre of Marvel at this time. I'm super stoked for Werewolf by Night. I hope you guys are too. But again, it's just really cool to see the market kind of jumping all over the place with Man-Thing keys jumping and with Werewolf by Night keys jumping. It's very exciting and I absolutely love it. And of course, again, most of the reviews that I've read and I've seen online are fantastic. So I can't wait for that to come out. The next thing, probably bigger news than that, is recently Ryan Reynolds on his IG, and I think everywhere else, Facebook, released his I'm trying to prepare for Deadpool 3. We knew Deadpool 3 had some stuff going on with it, but he gave a teaser and then a follow-up that we believe solidified a character that we've wanted for a long time. And that, of course, is Hugh Jackman, a.k.a. Wolverine, a.k.a. Logan, coming to Deadpool 3. If you guys have not seen that video, you guys got to check it out. Go check out Ryan Reynolds' IG. This thing has been blasted everywhere. Super exciting to see that they're working on the Deadpool 3 IP. And a couple of points that were made in the 2 videos that he's released, I think he's up to 3 videos now, is this will be the first introduction of Deadpool and whatever side characters, and of course Wolverine into the Marvel Cinematic Universe since the acquisitions. So it's very, very exciting to see kind of the early stages of where they're going, especially with Wolverine. Now, with that being said, a lot of guys have been doing those flexes with the Hulk 181s and with the New Mutants 98s. Of course, iconic keys that are linked to what is being said. But another book that has had a tremendous spike, and I think will continue to up into and well beyond, is this guy right here, Wolverine 88. This is the first fight between Wolverine and Deadpool. This book has also picked up a lot of steam, and I think we're at the early stages of that, because as soon as that first trailer pops, this thing is going to grow tremendously. And we are a ways out. I believe the movie is projected for 2024. Anyways, just wait, because that book is already shooting. When that trailer comes out with those 2 in it, super excited for that. So those 2 big news there with that. We're wrapping. I think we've got 1 or 2 more episodes of She-Hulk to go. I will say this about that, and then we'll move on. I'm going to show you guys some CGC books and a couple of other things. I've enjoyed the She-Hulk show so far. However, I feel as though the last several episodes, I think it was the first 2 episodes, first 3 episodes, like, cool, I like where they're going with this, I like what's going on. The last 2 episodes, the wedding episode and then the retreat episode with the Abomination and everything, I really feel as though that I feel like they're trying to make a show that's going to go on for 30 seasons that isn't necessarily a superhero show, or there's not a bigger thing going on. It's a daily life of a person that's dealing with the situation in which She-Hulk is dealing with, or Jennifer Walters, whichever side you want to play to. And with that being said, part of me dislikes that. Part of me feels like there was so much going on in the beginning of this, with the Daredevil teasers, with Bruce Banner and the Hulk. And then we go into these 2 episodes of what feels like a classic television show. At least that's the way I've perceived it, with the wedding stuff and with the retreat stuff. I could see like an episode of Friends be very similar to that, on how that arc went. So that's my opinion. I'm hoping that the next episode we pick up and we start going back into a central tied story arc, or we start focusing on Bruce a little bit and then Daredevil, Matt Murdock. We will see. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Let me grab these books real quick. We're going to dive into these 8 books, and then I'm going to talk about some of the other things that I've got going on as well. So this is 8 of a 20 shot or a 25 shot that I did with CGC. Not to include, I did get 4 books that I was going to include in this. However, the 4 books was from the Ryan Otley signing out of SDCC. 3 of the 4 books came in destroyed. So once those return, I will be sharing those with you, which was 3 Invincible books and 1 Haunt book. Unfortunately, I got them, unpackaged them. The whole piece off of one was busted off and the other 2 were fairly damaged. So I had to return them, and I didn't want to deal with that. So we're going to go through these fairly quick. Again, 8 books, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my next submissions. First book on the docket here is Uncanny X-Men 244, First Jubilee. This is a nice copy of this book. It came back in 8.5, a little lower than I was anticipating. Let's see. Let me grab the notes on these guys. Okay, so let's see if yes, it does. So off-white to white, light spine stress, lines to cover, very light creasing on cover. There's very light spine stress. In fact, I have 9.6s with more spine stress than this. If anything, and then very light creasing. I see very, very light creasing Again, this is tough. This is a tough one. I don't believe that this is an 8.5. I think that at worst it should have been a 9.2, possibly a 9.4. That's my opinion. And that's what I'm going to stick with. But I think possibly because it's off-white to white, maybe it's that with in conjunction with some of the other stuff that's going on. Anyways, first Jubilee, 8.5. Not super stoked about that. However, I am stoked about this. Moon Knight #1, Gabriel Delato. And this package did come in because I did get the label, the enhanced labels. Moon Knight, Gabriel Delato, Virgin, beautiful book. That came back a 9.8. Let's keep going. Next guy on the list. We'll save the worst for last because my mind is still blown. Venom #3, first appearance of Null. White cover. I was very hesitant that this was going to come back a 9.8, only because these stark white covers, it just amazes me. Anyways, this is a 9.8, and this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So super cool there. And I did get Venom, the Lethal Protector logo up in the corner. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's another cool one. This is Miles Morales, Spider-Man 26, the Frankie's comic. Spider-Gwen variant. Beautiful book, another 9.8. And, of course, we had to do the Spider-Gwen up on the label. And, guys, most of these books, if not all of them, will be up for sale on our Whatnot following more than likely this evening after this video is released. So if you are interested and you watch the video, release day, always feel free to reach out to me. Here is another, I freaking love this one. King in Black #2, Tyler Kirkham. This is the B variant, but this is the color splash variant. There was 3 options for this book. This is, of course, one of my favorite, one of the Web of Spider-Man, 32 homages. Absolutely killed it. Beautiful book. And, of course, it being a 9.8 only does it justice. So we'll keep going here. Let's keep going. All right, next guy on the list is Secret Wars #10. This, of course, is an iconic Doom cover, iconic book as a whole. Came back a 9.0. We got Doom up on the label. Another one of my favorite books. I felt like it was a little harsh on this guy again for a 9.0. Let's read the comments on this, or maybe my expectations are too high. It's just I've done a lot of grading at this point. So the 9.0 on this one is a white pager. It says light bends to cover. Which, in the case, it's almost impossible to see. Anyways, a gorgeous book. 9.0. I was hoping for a 9.4 on that guy. Came down a little bit. And yes, I know I can pre-screen. I don't generally pre-screen because some of these books I have no problem with throwing on my PC if they don't sell, and some of them I don't sell anyways. So anyways, we're down to 2 books, guys. Next one is X-Men #1. 9.6 is what I got on this. No grader's notes. It is a newsstand, and it is the beautiful Magneto cover. These newsstands, I highly recommend you picking up if you can get them in high grade. They're going up in price, and rightfully so. I do have more I will be sending, but I thought that was really cool. They gave me a 9.6. I would say it's probably because the spine, it's a little bit pushed back. Other than that, that's a gorgeous copy, white pager, beautiful book. The last one in the box, and then I'll talk a little bit about some of these other books as well, and that is all new Marvel .1. This blew my freaking mind. I got to pull up the notes on this. This is absolutely crazy to me. This is the first appearance of Kamala Khan, and it is a Salvador Lorcrocha cover. First full appearance of the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. This came back a 5.0. A 5.0, guys. A 5.0. This is like an 8.5 on its worst day, in my opinion, but let's see what they say. This is just absolutely nuts to me. Let me find it. 5.0. There it is. Moderate fingerprints on cover. which you cannot, like, I have yet to be able to find. Oh, maybe. Nope, I'm wrong. I do see him down on the white label. Son of a bitch. And then moderate staining to cover. I don't see the staining. No, I do see the fingerprints. That's crazy. Weird. Very weird. I don't know. I'm going to end up probably breaking this out and trying to clean it or taking a look at the staining because I don't know what that is. Anyways, that's the set of books we just got back from CGC. I have, right at this time, I think I've got something like 50, 60 books that are en route back. We'll continue to do these CGC unboxings. I like talking about the books, giving my spec grades. Obviously, there's a lot in play with these books, from your detail to attention before sending. And then, of course, the grader has a lot to do with it as well, guys. I have many, many times gotten 9.6s that were 9.8s and vice versa. I've got some books that I thought were going to be one thing that were not even close. So on those notes, let's talk real briefly about some of the books I'm going to be submitting next, and then we'll wrap this video up. This plays a little part in it. One of the collections I've been working on for quite a while is Amazing Fantasy. Just a couple of books I've picked up. This book I picked up, that's Amazing Fantasy 15. Version 2. This has got a ton of first appearances, most notably Amadeus Cho, but it's also Blackjack, Monstro, and many others. It's a 9.2. And then Amazing Fantasy at number 7. This is the first appearance of Carmela Black. And then I do have Amazing Fantasy issue 1 at CGC right now. So just as a disclaimer, some books that I do have in my stack, what I end up doing is I end up putting books. I actually have a short box full of books I'm going to be sending to CGC, and then I go through them. I did a video on this. But anyways, these books I'm getting ready to go through in fine detail and make the decision on what I do and don't want to send right now. We got Moon Knight, the Lemire run, 3rd printing, green label. We got another copy of Amazing Fantasy 15. This I think I may get a 9.4 on. That's the only reason I'm sending it, or a 9.2 possibly. Another great book is Mark Spector, Moon Knight 57, that coveted Spider-Man and Moon Knight McFarlane cover. I absolutely love that book. Darth Vader, number 3, first appearance of Dr. Aphra. This is a very nice copy of that. We did pull, let me find the other one so we can just do them both at once. 2 copies of the Thunderbolts number 1. This is a big book and growing. This is Hulk 449. So first appearance of Thunderbolts. We got Spider-Verse 6 with the 20 plus first appearances in there. This book I've been trying to get in high grade raw for quite some time. That's Amazing Spider-Man 4, first appearance of Silk. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's see. 1 in 50 Cosmic Ghost Rider number 1. We have Amazing Fantasy number 10. This is the first appearance of Nina Price, Vampire by Night. And a couple more real quick. Iron Fist 14 for Sabretooth. Very nice condition on that. Adventures into Fear 24 is a nice copy. Does look like there was some kind of machine error when they did this book, but still a very nice copy. Daredevil 158, very nice copy of this book as well. And those are some of the books. I got a bigger stack below here, but because of time and everything that's going on, those are some of the books that I'm going to meticulously go through and get ready to submit to CGC. Now, that's one thing that I try to do. I need to get better at it, obviously, because I do miss things. And that is, I try to go through these books before I send them. Sometimes I do get rushed. I've been trying to do orders every week, every other week. In light of the situation that happened with CGC, the hurricane that hit Florida, I've been tracking that very closely. Mostly because I've got friends that are down there. And then, of course, I have CGC orders that are sitting there as well. CGC did announce that everything is okay. They're going to be back on track on Monday, which is, I think, October 3rd. So I think we'll fare out okay in that world. But nonetheless, we will be going through these books. I'll probably submit another 25, 30 books off of these stacks, and then I'll get the next few stacks ready. Like I said, I think right now I have about 50 books that are due back within the next couple of weeks from CGC, and that includes the broken ones that came in, guys. That's what I got for you today. I know this is a longer video. I didn't mean to run so long, but I did want to share and talk about the CGC order. I wanted to talk about Werewolf by Night, a little bit of She-Hulk stuff, of course, the Deadpool 3 stuff, some spec stuff that I've got going to CGC soon. And guys, that's what we got for you today. We truly appreciate everybody that's hanging out with us here on the Breakout Daily YouTube channel. Of course, I mention this all the time. Feel free to jump over to our Instagram channel. I post all kinds of stuff there, breakoutdaily. You can always drop me a DM. I'm more than happy to talk to you. And then, of course, if you guys want to join our live show over on the Whatnot app, feel free to do that as well. Generally, we run Saturday nights, and then we are starting to run in on some pop-up shows as well. You're not going to be able to find any of that if you guys don't follow us there as well. Guys, that's what we got for you. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll catch up with you in the next video.